So go ahead and sit upright and set your feet on the floor. And let's start at the feet here. Just rock your tiptoes and heels. And try to keep your toes forward over your knees a little so you can really lift them up. And the next time you do lift your toes, swivel them in and out. So we'll go a little clicking together of the toes. And go up on your tiptoes and swivel your heels in and out. Clicking those together. And then heel toe your feet out and let your knees follow. And heel toe your feet back in, letting your knees follow. You can have your hands on the chair to support your back if you need it, or your hands can just be on your knees. And let's end up out wide in the open position with the knees there. And keep that open position and just gently rotate your chest left and right. And I do mean gently. So it could be super slow and not straining, not grasping too hard for any particular depths yet. But do the chest. Now, let's just change one thing about that. Keep your eyes at me as you keep your chest turning. So your eyes stay at me, rotate your chest. Head stays still if you can. Good. One more rotation to each side. Good. And then let's lean down onto the right elbow and just take the left arm up and do big circles with the left arm up and then over to the right and then down inside the legs and then open back to the left. Do 3 of those circles. Can your heart follow the hand? So you're turning your heart open as you sweep the arm back and up. Turn your heart towards the floor as you sweep the arm down. And just 3 of those and then just sit up and no major thing here. Just lean down onto your left elbow and do the same thing with the right arm. High to the sky, out to the left, down inside the legs, and back to the right. Three slow, big, full circles. And then sit up when you feel you've done about the same number, and then stay tall in your chest and just turn your head left and right without turning your chest. And then lift your toes and turn them towards each other. Sweep your knees towards each other, your feet staying wide, and hug your belly into your back and round back. Lean back away from your knees, but dive your chin down your sternum. Then we'll lift our toes, turn our toes out, our knees out, swivel on those heels and take your arms back and open up the chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together here. And we'll go back and forth between those 2 poses. Take your hands to your knees, turn your toes in, knees knock knee, rounded back, shrugging shoulders. And then toes out, knees out, arms back, lifting heart, shoulders down the back. One more time, knees together, toes towards each other, rounded back, hands forward. And then open up. And then stay in the open position and lift your right arm. And your left hand can go right to the side of the chair and lift your right ribs. Side bend to the left. Great. And switch sides. Drop your right hand, lift your left arm, and side bend to the right. Good. And back to center and walk your feet back into the center and extend your legs. You can have your hands on the chair again or hands on your knees. Extend one leg at a time. Good. And drop that. Take your knees in and out. And settle that. Sit up nice and tall. Good. Take your elbows back and squeeze your shoulder blades together with your palms facing up. Lift your heart. Thrust your heart forward. See if you can get that heart out. Good. Send your arms forward, round your back. Inhale, pull your elbows back as you lift your heart. Exhale, send your arms forward and round your back. 2 more of those. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, round and reach. Inhale, open up. Good. Exhale, round and reach. Then just lean forward on your elbows and rest on your knees. Hang your head. Sway your head, turn your head, do whatever suits releasing neck muscles. And sit back up. And we're going to try to roll our rib cage around in circles over our pelvis. So see about trying to keep your legs steady, pelvis steady, swiveling those ribs around. Then even think about your head and let your head go the opposite place that your ribs are reaching. If your ribs are reaching right, your head's falling left. If your ribs are reaching back, your head's falling forward. Your ribs reaching left, your head falls right. Ribs forward, head back. Yeah, so circle. So your head kind of counterweights the ribs. And then reverse the circling in all the parts. And then lean forward again on your elbows or go further, resting your chest on your legs and hang. If it makes you dizzy to have your head below your heart, you can always just rest on your elbows, please. Keep your head above your heart. That may help for any lightheadedness. Keep your head above your heart. And then inhale as you sit up. And we'll lean all the way against the back of the chair and hug our belly down into our back and hold on to the chair and march your knees at your chest. Take your left knee up and grab onto it and round your back, hugging your knee to your chest or towards your nose or even to your temple or to your ear if it's can go past that. And then release that leg and switch. Just bring your right knee up and hold it up close to your chest, your forehead, your nose, your temple, your ear, whatever distance you can get that knee up close. And when you take a breath, notice how it affects your back and your belly. And release that leg down. Place your hands to push your way upright. And sit up nice and tall. Now take your arms wide and overhead. Inhale. Put your palms together overhead and extend if you can. Your fingers reaching high to the sky. Excellent. Keep your hands together. Take your hands down the midline. Good. Keep your palms together and shoot them overhead. Inhale. Keep them together. Bring them back down the midline. Your hands stay together. Hands stay together. Sorry. Yes, that's right, Pete. 2 more of these. Just extending high to the sky with the palms together. Inhale. Back to the heart. Exhale. 1 more time. Straight to the sky. Inhale. And back to the heart. Exhale. Good. Now separate the palms, turn them out away from your shoulders and push out. Keep that extension reaching through the heels of the hands. Good. Maybe fly the arms up a little. Your palms start to face the ceiling when you get your arms up. You don't have to go all the way overhead. And then come down and back down. Keep your palms facing away from you as you go down a little bit. And then up, like we're polishing some kind of wall there with our palms facing out the whole time. So that I'm very particular palm position here, reaching your palms, facing them away the whole time as you do a little snow angel kind of action with your arms up and down. You don't have to go all the way overhead. So yeah, just keep those palms facing away. 1 more time up, 1 more time down. Excellent. Release that. Shake off any tensions in your shoulders once you've released. Good. Flick your fingers at me like you got water on your fingers and you're trying to flick water into my face. and anyone else's face. All right. And then take your palms together, interlace your fingers nice and tight, roll your wrists. So your fingers are holding kind of tight. Don't obviously hurt yourself, but a little bit more engagement than sometimes we do. Then open your elbows and your fingers are pushed against the backs of the hands. You push your palms forward. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Come on back in and unlace the fingers, interlace the awkward way. Do the other first finger stacking first, and then roll those wrists again. And then open your elbows, push your palms forward. Maybe rising the palms, but keeping your shoulders down there if you can. Good. Release that and open and close your palms. Fists wide, over and over. Pump blood out to your hands this way. Open as wide as you can and keep the hands as open as possible. Spread those fingers away from the center of the palm. Detail now. Bring your thumbs away from the center of the palm more. Bring your pointer finger away from the center of the palm more. Middle finger away from the center of the palm more. Ring finger away. Pinky finger away. Good. Squeeze those things together now. You make your fists in your hands. Squeeze your pinky finger more, ring finger more, middle finger more, first finger more, thumb more. Hold this tight. And then release, relax the hands and shake them again. Good. Put your palms together, loose, relaxed. Relax your elbows down, close your eyes, sit upright. Take big breaths into your front and your back, but breathe to all corners of where that lung capacity can allow. Imagine that you can relax around your trunk in order to allow more space for air to come in. See about keeping your upright posture, but relaxing the muscles around the rib cage to allow more air in, more space in the body. Consider something to dedicate your practice to that inspires you in life or gives you joy or wonder. Imagine that thing is a substance in the air that you inhale the next time you inhale, thus actually inspiring this energy in your body. We'll chant 3 ohms together. Inhale. Release your hands to your knees, open your eyes, take a big inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. That's all. Go ahead and lean against the back of your chair, extend your legs and reach your arms behind you. Stretch out your whole body here, nice and long. From here, we'll step our left foot onto the floor. Take our right knee up and reach our hands towards our right foot, slow, squeezing your belly. Inhale, extend your right leg and reach your arms back. Exhale, your right knee to your chest, your hands towards your right foot. Exhaling. Inhale, extend and open. Exhale, squeeze the knee to the chest. Inhale, extend and open. We'll do it 2 more times. Exhale, take a squeeze. Reach your hands towards the knee. Inhale, open. Towards the foot. Exhale, last time. Squeeze your knee to your chest. Reach your hands beyond your right foot if you can. Hug your belly in. Then grab your right knee and pull it up any closer. You might stay rounded in your back. You might get your nose any closer to your knee. Now keep your knee where it is and lift your heart away from it. Lean back away from the knee. You're holding the knee, lifting your heart, and root your right sitting bone into the chair. Lengthen your low back. Shoulders go back. Nice lifted, arched back even. Circle your right ankle. Lifted heart. Good. Now push your right knee against your hands. Push your right knee against your hands. You're holding it in place. Activating the muscles. You'll find your gluteal muscles hopefully turn on and other muscles in your hip. Great. Now keep the knee where it is, but take your hands on top of your knee. You're putting your hands on top of your knee now and push your knee away from you as you squeeze the knee towards you, activating the front hip. So this is not easy. You're pushing away, the knee is up already, and then you're even activating it more by pushing it into your hands. Good, relax that leg, wag your knees in and out. Put your hands on the chair and extend your right leg and sweep it left and right. Make sure you're steady on the chair. If you can, stay reclined in the chair. Draw circles on the floor with the right foot. You all right there, Pete? You can lean back or not, yeah? Circle the foot the other way. And then sweep the right leg across the left foot in front of you. Take the right arm up and side bend to the left, leaning back and looking up. You okay there, Pete? You could lean back maybe, I don't know, but leaning back against the chair maybe. Good. Release the right arm down, draw the right knee in and grab it with your left hand and pull it across your chest. Turn your chest to the right, pulling the right knee up to your left shoulder. Use your left hand on that knee. Right hand is on the side of the chair. Lengthen spine. And then if you want, reach your right arm back behind you or to the right or what's available here. Turn your heart. Look at the right side of the room here. Look at your wall on the right or even behind you if it's available. Good. Turn back to face center and pull the knee out wide with your right hand. Take your left arm out wide. Lift your heart. Take a breath. Good. Bring the knee back into center. Let go of the leg. Take your hands to the chair and extend and bend the right leg in front of you. Try to keep the knee where it is. Your belly's engaged. Can we do 5 more kicks here? The same amount, if not deeper every time. Very good, Jennifer. Good, Lilia. Good, Pete. All right, drop the leg down, wag your knees in and out, and push your way upright. We'll do a final thing here. Hamstring stretch. Sit on the front edge of your chair. Your right leg is forward. Nice tall spine. Forward fold over that straight right leg. Take long breaths. Slow your breath down if that feels okay for you to do so. Not to stir anxiety, but to try and calm the system and bring your mind in a calmer place. Long breaths, slow, patient. Not so you're starving for breath, not so that you challenge your nervous system too much. Give it 2 more breaths here. Go ahead and sit up and step your right foot to the floor, wag your knees in and out. And lean back and extend your legs again and your arms back behind you again. Big stretch. And step your right foot onto the floor. Your left leg stays long. And we're going to draw the left knee in and reach our hands to the left foot and squeeze our belly. This is our move. Inhale, extend and open. Exhale, draw the knee in and squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Get all the breath out. Inhale, open. 2 more full exhales. Inhale, open. Full exhale, squeeze and hold. Don't grab the knee yet though. Hold the position. Hold the knee reaching towards your nose. Then grab the knee and see if you can get the knee any closer, still rounded in your back, your nose towards your knee. Then lift your heart away from that knee, holding the knee in place where it is. Shrug your shoulders back, lift your back up, or rather lift your heart up, your low back arches. Circle your left ankle. Chin can stay down, shoulders down away from the ears, circle ankle. And then holding the knee, push your knee into your hands. Push that left knee strong into your hands. Nothing's changing visually, so you can't see what I'm doing anymore. Then I can see what you're doing here, but activate, push that knee forward. Your arms are resisting the knee into your chest. Give that a moment or two. It can change your low back, can change some muscles in your hip socket. Good, now keep the knee in place, but take your hands on top of the knee and push the knee away from you as you pull the knee up towards you with your muscles in your belly and your front hip flexor. You're pushing the knee away as you're pulling the knee in. So it's like this there, Jennifer. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see the whole thing. Hands are on top of the knee. As you pull it up to your chest, your hands pushing it away actively. So you're working your body against itself. Your belly should be turned on here. Good, release that leg and wag the knee in and out. Hands on the chair, extend your left leg straight out and sweep it left and right as you recline. So now we're opening up. We just squeezed a bunch of muscles in our hip socket front to back, and now we're trying to relax them a little bit. Draw circles with your left foot on the floor if that's available. Keep the knee going with the circles, yeah? So instead of the foot only, do the knee along with it. Circle the other way. And then as you extend the left leg across your right foot, straight out off to the right, take your left arm up and side bend back to the left, or sorry, to the right. Left arm is up, side bend back to the right. Maybe you straighten that left elbow more and reach it further back if the shoulder allows. Yeah, great, Jennifer. Up to your shoulder though, yeah. Good, release the left arm to the chair, bring the the left knee up and grab onto it with the right hand. Lift your spine tall and turn it to the left. As you pull the left knee to the right shoulder, the heart turns left, the left hand is on the chair for the first moment to stabilize you. Then you might extend your left arm behind you if that's not going to destabilize you too much. One more breath. Then take your left hand to your left knee and pull it out wide to the left. Your right hand can be on the chair. Lift your heart up, circle your left ankle. You could also reach the right arm wide. That's fine. Good. Bring the knee back to center. Keep the knee as high as it is, but let go of it with your hands and put your hands on the chair and extend and bend your left leg. Take some long breaths. Let's do 4 more here. Extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend. Last one, extend and bend. Drop the leg, wag the knee in and out. Push your way upright. Yeah, sit upright and extend your left leg straight in front of you. Your toes pull back. Nice long spine. You can have your hands on the chair to stabilize. Forward fold to the hamstring stretch on the left leg. Try to remember that you're here and now and not in the pose that you've done maybe 100 times, maybe more. But you're in this pose for the first time in this particular organization of your mind and body. Inspire that energy that you dedicated to your practice to at the beginning. Bring that into your body. Let that be a refreshing energy. It refreshes your attention. Take a last exhale here whenever you get to it. And after that exhale, inhale to sit up. Step the foot to the floor, wag your knees in and out. Step your feet out nice and wide with a nice tall spine. And we'll slide our arms down the insides of the shins, forward fold. Now you can put your elbows and push them into the knees, or you can go further, put your hands on your ankles or even on the floor. Don't fall out of your chair. Don't get dizzy if your head going below your heart is not make your head feel good, then you can keep your head above your heart. So stay here. 3 more breaths in your wide-legged forward bend, however far you want to go. On your inhale, make your way back upright. Step your feet back into the center, wag your knees in and out, breathe. Let's step our feet wide though again. And we're gonna go ahead and do some twisting reaches. So like take your right arm and reach up to the left with your right arm. Your right knee might head towards the floor, it may not, because we're gonna go back and forth. Come back to the center and swivel and reach your left arm to the right as you turn your left knee towards the floor possibly. And come back to center and switch again and go slow enough that you're attentive to every motion that happens, every muscle fiber that fires in sequence, but continues swiveling back and forth and reaching. Can you reach higher and longer each time? Can your eyes stay on the fingertips that are reaching high? Can you extend the back leg anymore behind you as you go? Again, not hurrying. You don't have to at all stay in pace with me. You can do this on your own pace now, so your eyes can follow your fingertips instead of looking at me. Do one more on each side, and whichever one ends up finishing you where you're turned to the left and your right arm goes high, that's the one we're ending on, and pause in that one. Stay there and reach the right arm up anymore. And you might have your left hand on the chair, yeah? So your left hand on the seat of the chair next to your hip. And then we're gonna side bend a little to the left, lifting your right ribs, side bend towards the back of the chair. Lean away from me. Lean to the left. Reach your right leg further back. Open up that front right hip socket, hip flexor, hip and thigh connection. One more breath. Excellent. Release that right arm down. Turn yourself all the way around to the other side. You can have your right hand on the chair to stabilize you as you turn to the right and reach your left arm up. Yeah, steady. Make sure you're steady on the chair. Reach your left leg as far back as you can. Left fingers as far up as you can. Eyes going up. More reach if you can. 1 more millimeter of space on that left side. And then lift the left ribs and side bend towards the chair, away from me. Lift the left ribs up over your belly button. Last breath there. Good, Jennifer. Release and turn back to face center and step everything into center. Wag your knees in and out. Then take your left leg stacked on your right if you can. So we're going basically the opposite direction here, hugging into the midline. So squeeze the knees against each other now and hold your knees nice and tall in your spine. Take your arms out wide to the sides. Let's do a little circles in our shoulders here just to warm them up a little more. So circle those arms and go slower and bigger, slower, especially go slow when you go back. Go back as far as you can and lift in the back position. up and then forward and then down. And then when it gets back there, this is where a lot of the work happens, is in the hands behind the shoulders and in the neck. One more lift, one more release down. And then take your left arm under your right and hug yourself. Left arm under the right. You can wrap your arms around the chest, or maybe you can get that left hand up to the outer right shoulder, right hand up to the outer left shoulder. Good. Squeeze, hold here with your hands, but try and roll your shoulders away from your ears and broaden your shoulders out away from each other. So think of getting space between the two shoulder blades so that the shoulder blades are reaching away from each other as you're lifting your heart. Good. Lean forward, put your elbows on your knees. Dive your chin to your sternum. Now here, your elbows are on your knees. It's an odd position, I understand, as long as you're stable here. Your right foot solid on the floor. Hug your belly into your back and round your back out now. Keep your elbows on your knees, but try and recede your heart away from your knees. Doming a little space there. Make a little cave between your front chest and your elbows if you can. Stretching the back muscles there. Good. Gently release that. Step your feet wide, hands on the chair, nice and tall. Now release everything, yeah? Go into goddess pose. Get big and opposite now. You all right there, Jennifer? Yeah, you got some. Okay. Pete, sit up and go wide into this goddess pose, yeah? Wide legs too, yeah? There you go. Now take your hands to your inner knees and hunch your back forward, elbows go forward, round in your back. Lean way out and dome up your back. Good. Sit up. Step your feet back into the center. Wag your knees in and out. Let's do one more thing before we go to the other side. Extend your legs forward again. Reach your arms back again. Clasp your hands behind your head if it's available. Side bend to your right, lifting your left ribs. And then side bend to your left, lifting your right ribs. Good. Back to center. Release your hands. Step your feet onto the floor and sit up. Good. Go wide with your legs again. And then we're going to, what did we do? How did we did a lunge. Oh, I've forgotten what, we did a second side. What did we, oh yeah. Right, we were in the big lunges. Now we're gonna, I'm sorry, our legs are gonna come back to center and you're gonna cross your right leg over your left. That's what we're doing. My apologies for getting lost there. I thought there was something before this cross that happened, but I think we did both sides before the cross. So go ahead and go wide with your arms. And then wrap, let's see, yes, wrap your right arm under your left and hug yourself. Right arm now is under the left. Your right hand may go up to the outer shoulders or up to the outer left shoulder, left hand on top of the left shoulder. Yeah? Right arm is under the left. Pete, switch which arm is crossed now. The right arm goes under the left. There you go. So you can get it under the elbow, Good. Good. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears, widen the collarbones, lift your heart, lean forward, put your elbows on your knees. Tuck your chin to your sternum and hug your belly back. And then right there, the little space, there's a lot of little muscles that we work in sometimes. So here it's really subtle, trying to recede your heart back away from your elbows, trying to make a little cave there. Now, if this hurts your shoulders in any tweaking way, then that's not what we want, of course. So don't force too much. But if you can dome your back up slightly between your shoulder blades, you might get a nice stretch there. And then sit up and release that. Set your hands on the chair, step your feet out wide, and goddess pose. Good. Straighten your arms out, and we'll do a second set of these circles just for our shoulders, another few rounds. Good. And then set your hands on your inner knees, elbows go wide. If you can go super wide with the elbows, turn your fingertips in towards the inner thighs. So your fingers turn in, your heels of your hands turn forward. deep internal rotation of those arms. Dive down between your legs. And a breath. And gently sit back up. And lean against the back of the chair and extend your legs forward again. Take your arms back again. Very good. Can you widen your legs? Maybe you have to step them. Maybe you have to set your hands on the chair to stabilize yourself beforehand. But go wide with your legs in a big V and then arms up. And now we're going to side bend with the left arm down alongside that left leg and side bend, lifting the right ribs. You might look under your right arm. You might put your right hand behind your head and lean back into your right hand to just get a little more stretch in the right waist and right ribs. And then windmill the arms all the way around the other way. Extend your right arm down your right leg, left arm along the ear first. Lean to the right and reach your left leg away from your left ribs. Left leg is long and strong. And then place your left hand behind your head if it's available and lean back into it. If that's not a happy place for your shoulder, you don't have to do that. Maybe looking up at the ceiling can help get a sense of openness across the collarbones and a little stretch in the neck even. Release that left arm, hands on the chair, sit back upright, wag your knees in and out. Good. All right, let's turn now to the left one more time. So step your feet wide and turn your chest to the left, and again, turn your right knee towards the floor. See if you can get that right knee straight down towards the floor if possible, yeah? Put your hands on your left leg, pull your belly in and round your back so we stretch the front right thigh. We're pulling the right hip point back. Lift the right pelvis up as you reach the right knee down. Lean a little away from your left leg. Lean back a little. Yeah. Explore leaning slightly back behind your pelvis. Lean your heart away from your left leg. Can we take 2 more breaths here, stretching the front right thigh? If your chin is to your sternum, you might even get a little more stretch. Good. Keep this shape in general, but lift your heart up and lean a little out over your left leg. Extend your right leg behind you. Lean out over your left leg now. So if you can, reach your right leg way back. Now, put your right elbow on your left knee. Put your right elbow on your left knee. Take your left hand to the side of the chair or stable there somewhere on the left and turn your heart to the left. Turn away from me with your heart. As you extend your right leg back, you're getting a revolved, what's called revolved side angle pose here, turning your heart away from me. Rolling your right shoulder, for example, away from your right heel, long out of your right heel. So think of that line, right heel up the back, all the way up to the right shoulder. Extend that line, turning your heart to the left. Excellent. Release it all, turn all the way around, swivel everything. Your hands can go to the seat of the chair as you dial the left knee towards the floor. Now we've got 2 poses here, so we're not going into that revolve just yet. We're just facing to the right foot on the floor, the left knee. Bring the left knee in, even if you extended it behind the hip, bring it in so it's under the hip. Because the stretch in the left thigh can be really potent if we keep the left knee straight to the floor. Put your hands on your right thigh, pull your belly in, and pull your front left hip away from your left knee, reaching the left knee down, not touching the floor with the knee, but just pulling the belly in and rounding out your low back. Filling out your back with your belly can be one idea to get the left thigh stretch. So these little details can help, and they may or may not always pertain to different bodies, certain bodies. So do what you can, and don't worry about it if you don't feel some of the things that I'm suggesting might be felt. Stay a couple more breaths here, trying to stretch the front left thigh as much as you can. You're leaning away from that right leg a little bit. I'm going to do one more nice long breath here, please. And then Lift your heart, keep the general shape of the body, but extend your left leg any further back if you can. Lean out over your right leg. Lean your chest out over your right leg. Put your left forearm on your right knee. Left forearm goes across the right knee. There it is, Pete. Your right hand on the side of the chair, seat of the chair, and turn your heart to the right. Turn away from me. Reach your left leg back as you're turning your heart right. It's a big spiral in the body from the left heel through the crown of your head, spiraling right. Can you elongate that line anymore? Reaching your heart further out. Nice, long, strong, long spine. Good. Release that and turn back to face center safely. Step your feet to center, wag your knees in and out. Very nice work, everybody. Forward fold over your legs, elbows to knees or chest to legs, and rest. Go ahead and lift your eyes, inhaling, sitting up. Rock your ankles and toes. And then let's stomp our feet. See if we can get a little energy going into our legs. If you need to stabilize yourself, use your hands on the chair. And then stomp randomly. See, imagine you're trying to ward off attacking ants that are super fast. Or something more pleasurable than that. You're trying to crush every grape in the bin for the wine that will come next year. But fast. And then release your feet nice and wide, sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Whatever buzz is in your body, try to absorb it, let it spread, let it dissipate out throughout the body. We're going to stand up at this point, so you're welcome to step your feet behind your knees and practice going through a squat to stand if you like. Try leaning your heart way out, pushing into your hands. Every attempt you make may scoot you back in the chair. Yeah, that's great, Pete. Yep. Keep your eyes down, keep your head down. If you get your head way down, you might be able to get your pelvis high. Yes, good. And then rise your head up, walking your hands up your legs. Once you're standing, we'll just do that one little squat to stand practice and then get a chair in front of you. I'm going to remove this extra apparatus here. Once you're holding that chair and you're stable, let's go ahead and just right away do some steps to the left and the right. So holding the chairs, feet are hip width and parallel generally. I'll ask you to step right first. Lift your right knee, turn, step, and land. Look right and reach your right arm off to the right. Good. Spring load your right leg by bending it a little and pushing off and stepping back to center. Good. Your right hand comes back to lift your left knee, turn, step, look, and reach. Big lunge. Yes. Spring load the leg, push off, step back to center. Good. Step right. Back to center. Step left. Back to center. Step left. Good, Pete. Back to center. Good. Step right. Back to center. Step right. Nice. Back to center. Step right. Now stay here, stay here. Stay here and lunge and straighten the right leg just a few times. You can stay looking right. You're just bending and straightening the right knee. Several times. Good. When you lunge the next time, stay in the lunge, bring your right arm up along your ear a little higher. See if you can turn your chest more to face to the right. Stay steady in your left foot. Push strong into your left foot. Your chest is upright over your pelvis. Maybe you can take your left arm also up along your ear. Warrior one pose, facing to the right. That's what I'm looking for. Left arm along the ear, right arm along the ear. So warrior one, you're in warrior two there, Pete. Go to warrior one. If that's available, arms are up here facing fully to the right. Yes, strong legs. Good. Very nice. One more breath. Yeah. Lilia, you too. Great. You can be looking directly to the wall on your right side there. Good. Release your hands back to the chair, straighten out your right leg, and push off and step back to center. Yeah. Good. And we'll do a left step, the same deal. Lift your left leg, turn, step, look, reach. Then just straighten your left leg and lunge your left knee for several rounds. See if you can keep your spine upright when you do the lunging. So one of the things that we're practicing right here is trying to keep your chest from leaning when you lunge. Can you keep your chest upright even as you lunge the left knee? You're not changing the cant of your spine, the tilt of your spine. When you lunge the left knee the next time, stay in the lunge. Keep your eyes looking left. Maybe your right arm also matches the left. Both arms might come up alongside your ears more so they're reaching straight to the sky. Keep a long, strong right leg reaching right through the right heel. So keep awareness of that right leg in the back being a big steadier. It's steadying you. Take 2 more breaths. And release your hands. Right hand to the chair. Let's see, lunge left knee, push off, step back to center. See if you can do so. Yes, good. Good. We'll try something again. We'll go to the right lunge. So lift your right knee, turn, step, and lunge. Your left hand will be on the chair. Take your right arm forward. And now we'll go into warrior two. Now turn and roll your chest to face me as you reach your left arm back over the left heel, possibly. You could be looking at me, or you can practice. Now, ideally, we're safe enough here to be turning our head back and forth. If you want, you can have your left hand on the chair to start. Just turn your head to your right hand and turn your head back to face me. Your head to your right hand and back to me. If your left arm can be free and you turn your head right hand back to me. Notice if it unsteadies you, keep your awareness going of your balance as you turn to face me with your eyes and then turn to look over your right hand. Good. Release that. And we might return by going into a squat in the back leg. The lunge, put your hands on the chair, lunge your left knee, hands on that chair there, Lilia. Bend the left knee and see if you can step back with the weight back. Yes. Step left. Good. Now slowly turn your chest to face more towards me. So your right shoulder rolls back over its hip. Your right arm might reach back over the right heel. Your eyes may be looking at me, and that's okay, yeah? Good. Now explore just turning your eyes to your left hand and turning your eyes back to me. See if that threatens your balance in any way. It shouldn't be a dangerous threat. It might throw you slightly on and off here and there. Just play with the idea of turning your eyes, head, not fast, not looking to get dizzy. Just back and forth. Finish by looking over your left hand, but trying to find a real extension through both arms. Looking over your left hand, you're looking, this is the warrior two pose, looking over the left hand here. One more breath. Now take your right hand to the chair and shift your weight back to the right leg. See if you can get your right knee bent and then step back to center with that work. Yes, good. All right, back to center, step both feet out a little wide, shift your weight left to right. And then we're going to do a little swivel. When we lunge to the right, swivel your left toes up and bow to your left straight leg. So it's a forward bend to the straight left leg and then stand up. Swivel the left toes to the floor, shift your weight to the left as you bend your left knee and swivel your right toes up over the heel and bow to the straight right leg. And then come on back up and swivel to the right as you turn left and face your left leg. Come on up and swivel left as you turn right and face your right leg, bowing to it possibly. Go ahead and do one or two more of these. Your toes have to turn, your feet have to turn. All right, go ahead and come on back up and back to center with the legs. Now, we're going to try a little practice of stepping forward. Well, let's see. Let's start in a squat, actually. I'm sorry. So we're going to squat first. We're just going to sit our hips down behind the chair. Sit your hips down in chair pose or seated or squat pose. Feet are solid on the floor, hips are down. We're going to try and keep the squat as we lift the left foot and reach out and tap the heel with the toes up. And then lift it back up and back to center and switch sides. Lift your right leg and reach it out, tap the heel and lift it back up and back to center. Can you lift high and reach out, the heel landing first? The practice here is to get the toes back. Practice squeezing those shin muscles to get the toes lifted as you reach back and forth with the leg. And you're staying squatted on the standing leg. All the weight is on that standing leg. Just a tap and then back. Tap and back. And do your best to stay low in the hips, but upright in the chest. Good. Now, the next time you get that left heel out, we'll tap the left heel and then roll out onto it and lunge into it and reach your left arm forward. Good. Then shift your weight back. Keep the left foot on the floor. Shift your weight back into the right leg and bow again to the straight left leg. Here you might get another hamstring stretch, a slightly different entrance to the same pose we were just in, but now we're facing a little more forward instead of sideways, yeah? So here's where we are, Pete, if you can. Bowing, your chair's in front of you to support you. Then roll to the left toes. We'll do one more lunge, reaching the left arm out, launching up onto the left leg. You could use the chair with your right hand. Maybe you launch up to stand over the left leg completely and you lift your right leg in the back. Big extension over the left leg if the right hand can support you on the chair. Good. Gently release that and just step to the back of your chair, whatever safe way is needed, yeah? All right. We'll do the second side. So sit your hips down and squat in a chair pose. See if you can stay in the squat on the left leg as you lift your right leg up and over and tap the heel to the floor. Once your right heel's on the floor, now roll into the right toes and lunge deep and reach your right arm out. So just a little energetic lunge. Can you lunge forward there, Pete? So we're lunging forward as the left leg. Yes, there it is. Good, Pete. Then shift your weight back and straighten your right leg as you bow to the straight right leg. Yeah, so you've got a hamstring stretch happening. The toes are lifted. And then a second lunge might launch us up onto the right leg. Lunge into the right leg and then launch, possibly lifting the left leg in the back with the left hand on the chair. If that's not a stable place for you, you're practicing the back toes are down still, and that's fine. But extend and reach. One more breath. Good. Step the left foot back and walk back to the back of your chair, however safely you can. Shift, walk. We'll do a forward bend. Let's turn the chair around so we can do I've been trying to get this modified downward dog in classes lately. Can you turn the chair around or walk around the chair is fine. You know, yeah, you can just walk around to the back of the chair, put your hands on the seat of the chair. So first, we're just going to do a forward bend. So a simple forward bend with the seat of the chair helping us. You could have your hands on the chair. You could put your forearms on the chair. You could not have the chair used at all, and you have your hands down on their feet, by your feet. That's fine too. Keep your weight over your feet, though. Your weight's not in your arms almost at all here for a moment. Take some deep breaths. Now, come up onto hands on the seat of the chair and the pelvis in forward bend. So you're basically got your knees soft and you're in this sort of supported forward bend. Yeah. We're going to do push-ups here. So don't let that word scare you. Hopefully it doesn't. It's just a little work. One helpful thing for the push-ups, which I'd like to recommend, is that your elbows, they can go wide. So you can turn your hands into sort of a bulldog shape a little bit, but I don't want the elbows going super wide. I'd like the elbows to go more like straight, sort of like an arrow off the shoulders. So when you bend your elbows, they go back behind the shoulders as your heart dips down. Now, if there's all sorts of chair in the way and other things, and you have to modify in various ways, but bend your elbows back, but maybe not right along the ribs. So they're bending back, but they may be still some 6 to 8 inches off the ribs, but also not super wide. So think of your upper arms as ending up in some kind of an arrow off your shoulders. The elbows are back, but not right at the ribs. They're also not super wide. They're off the shoulders like an arrow. If you want to put more weight into those arms, if it's not challenging enough for you, walk your feet back so that your pelvis comes with you a little bit. And you could do like little 1/8 quarter drops. Quarter bends of the elbows would be enough to work those shoulders, right? You don't have to go into super deep squat, push-ups. Just what suits the challenge for you. And this challenge may have its emotional components to it, so be mindful of that. All right, now we've worked our arms a bit. Go ahead and release that practice for a moment. Your hands are still on the chair. Can you walk your feet further back from the chair and extend your arms further forward on the chair? So we're heading towards what's called a modified down dog. Now, I don't want all your weight in the chair. I'd like it in the feet. Your pelvis is up over the hips, or sorry, your pelvis is up over the heels, but your arms are reaching long and forward into the chair. The idea of getting a nice extension forward into the chair as you reach your hips back. It could be also a modified half forward bend. So we're just getting shoulder stretch here. Very nice. Take 2 more breaths there. Slowly walk your way back up to the chair to some degree, and then bend your knees and we'll stand all the way up. And you can bring the chair around behind. So you're standing. Actually, let's go to a side position with the chair. So take your time. No hurry about it, please. Put the chair on your right side. All right, Pete. Good work. Good, good. Yep. Take your left hand to your hip, your right hand on the chair. Stand right next to the chair and march your knees slow here. Make sure you don't walk away from the chair. And I'll just emphasize what I often emphasize. Pull your hips slightly back when you lift your knees. Yeah, so there's almost a little heart dip towards the knee every time you lift a knee. So Pete, I'm seeing a little more of this. I would like a little more heart goes forward when your knee comes up. Imagine you're like trying to squeeze or deflate a beach ball between your knee and your chest. Put a little more light on myself here. The next time you get your left knee up, keep it up. Good. And swing it left and right. See if you can stabilize yourself with that left knee, swinging left and right. Keep your chest steady as best you can. If you want, you can have your left arm free or hand on the hip or way out wide and do a little, I don't know, just some kind of Central South American thing. Feels like a dance. Try and let your hips swivel now with the knee. Turn your hips with the knee, as long as you're not hurting your right knee. Good. Step it down. Lift your right knee up. Pause here with your knee up. Pull your hips back a little bit there. So Good, Lilia, yes. So you're just think of the knee coming up. Mm-hmm. And let's just do a little lift and lowering of the right knee. Just lift and lower. Without changing anything else. Good. So we're working the connection here with the right knee. Now can we not only lift and lower, but extend it back and then lift. Keep your chest steady, extend back and lift. Good. Mm-hmm. One more lift, one more extension back. When you extend back the next time, put the toes on the ground and shift your weight back into what would be a warrior one pose. You can take your left arm up along your ear. Your left knee is lunging. Lunge the left knee a little more. Good. Can we lean forward now? This is how it looks from the side. Lean forward and bring the right knee up as you swing your left arm back behind you. And then swing your right leg back as you swing your left arm forward and up as you come into the lunge. Try this 2 more times. Lean forward, swing your left arm back as you lift your right knee. Swing your right leg back, left arm goes forward and up. Last time. Launch up onto the left leg, lifting your right knee. Good. Step back, reaching your left arm up. Now stay in this lunge and lift your left ribs and side bend towards the chair. This is a similar thing that we did on the other side in the chair before. Keep your steady legs now. Notice if your pelvis starts to swivel in all sorts of directions, keep it steady. Just think of lifting the left ribs up off that left hip. Even root the left hip into the floor to steady it as you lift your left ribs, side bending to the right. Very good. Release that, lean forward. You can put your hand on the leg or whatever, step forward, shake it off. One last thing on this side. Yeah. Tree pose on this side. Bend your left knee, turn your knee out, your heel in, scoot your left foot up against your right calf. Bend and straighten your right knee a couple times to stabilize yourself in your tree. And then one thing I like to imagine is that I have a perpetual energy reaching into the floor when I'm doing this, trying to find my balance in any balance pose, especially, but this in particular. Imagine, this is my image from growing up watching the space shuttle launch. Before the space shuttle leaves the launching pad, but it's shooting all of its rocket power into the Earth, it's got this energy that's just, that kind of energy is what we want, constantly reaching into the floor. So you don't give up that energy, pushing down and then you're done. You're pushing constantly. You're never locking your knee out, because when you lock your knee out, you kind of lose that energy connection. So imagine you're powering up on the launching pad with the space shuttle, your left arm goes up, and you're just rooting. You're going down 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 miles, 20 miles, 5,000 miles through the Earth. Power right through the floor. Maybe that'll give you a connection to the vector line that goes straight away from the floor. And in this way, that vector line is what we balance ourselves around, the vectors that are perpendicular to the Earth. Give yourself a couple more breaths. Power up. Good. I think we can stay 2 more breaths. I saw some people wanting to stop right there. Last breath now. Excellent. Release that, shake it off, let go of all that powering up, and switch sides with the chair. Actually, we'll do a forward bend before we do, yeah? So you can, wherever you want to put the chair, if you want to use the chair for a forward bend, just do whatever suits you for a forward bend. And when you're ready, bend your knees. Inhale on your way up to stand and breathe. Make sure you're not dizzy. And then get your chair under your left hand and up next to your left hip. Take your right hand to your hip. Take some marches, slow motion. Consider how the toes lift when we march, yeah? So as I know, Pete has sometimes the toes drag when you walk. So try and lift your toes super strong so you're flexed in your ankle the moment you leave the floor. Or you could even practice doing an opposite energy like prancing, pointing your toes very deliberately so that you get the muscle activity in the leg, both on the front and back of the foot, to practice that. Yeah. And in this way, just like yawning is good for smiling or for swallowing, sorry, yawning is good for swallowing and voice. You're opening up as opposed to just practicing the swallowing. This way we're working the ankles pointed to actually practice being able to lift the toes and land the heel every time you walk, right? So you want to walk with your toes up when you land your heel. All right, that's a big workshop that I'm not going to go too far into. Good. The next time you lift your, let's see, the right knee, swim it left and right. Let your pelvis follow. If you want, reach your right arm out and do a little more of a salsa type of deal or whatever this might be. Flamenco? I don't know. There's something going on here. Swimming your right knee left and right, pelvis turning. Left knee is soft. Good. Step your right foot down. Take your right hand to your hip and just lift and lower your left knee on its own. Try not to change, again, the cant of your spine. Practicing awareness of everything staying stable except for that left knee, just kind of doing a little lifting and lowering, working that hip. Good. And then not only lifting, but extending behind us. So left knee to the chest, left knee extends behind us. Keep going this way. Lift, extend, lift, the spine stays steady. Heart stays right where it is. Good. Last time lifting, last time extending. When you extend it behind you the next time, put the toes down and go into your lunge. Your right knee is lunging. Your left hand's at the chair. Yeah. Then we're going to lean forward and lift the left knee to the chest, standing up. And then lean forward and kick the left leg back, stepping back. Back and forth here. Lean forward, lift your left knee, inhale. Exhale, extend back as you lean forward and find your lunge. One more time, lean forward, lift the left knee up to the chest. Exhale, lean back, or rather step back as you lean forward and come to your lunge. Now, staying in your lunge, lift your right arm up. It's a warrior one type shape. Good. Your back heel is, I think we had back heel up last time. We're going to keep it up. But lift your right ribs and side bend a little. Keep your hips square. Your back heel is a rudder here. The deeper you might lunge in that right knee and reach back with the left heel, the more your center of gravity gets close to the earth. Your balance might be better even though you're working your legs more. So feel free to lunge deeper to work your legs more, but find your balance better as you side bend left, lifting your right ribs. Lift your right ribs up to the ceiling. That's really all it requires. Excellent. Release that, step forward and stand up. And we'll do the tree pose, standing next to the chair. Bend your right knee, turn it out. Scoot your right foot up your left calf. Take your right hand to your hip, bend and straighten your left knee. Work that awareness into the body. What's catching you as you extend into the floor? As you let yourself down into gravity and then play with the gravity conversation there as you extend away from gravity. Come down to gravity, extend away from it. What's working here? Can you employ that energy as a final extension, holding the extension energy, pushing into the floor in tree pose? That rocket launch pad that's happening right under your foot. You're pushing perpetually into the floor. You're not going to leave the floor, but you're pushing so strongly down, you're going down 10 feet, 10 miles, 10,000 miles. Strong awareness of how connection occurs here to the vector line. Take your right arm up along your ear. Again, the idea of the vector line being it's a perpendicular line to gravity, and that's where you want to wrap your balance around. Your balance comes not just from trying to steady everything over the balance point, but really hug to the midline as you extend through the left leg. Hug everything right into the vector that shoots through the floor and up through the sky. And I don't care if it's an imagined thing in reality. It matters that it feels that way for some, or it may be that some of the suggestions I make is just encouraging a certain energy in your body that you wouldn't normally have found, right? And that's kind of, whether it's imagined or not, it is experienced. So give it 2 or 3 more breaths. If you're still in it, your left hand can be on the chair or not. Steady yourself in the tree pose for 2 more breaths. Don't even look at me. Look at something stable or more patient, more stable. Good. Release it out, step it out, shake it off. And a forward bend. Go ahead and turn to the back of the chair, forward fold, all the way down or halfway or however far works for you. Always keep your knees soft when you head towards the forward bend until you're in it, and then straighten your knees any amount that feels useful. Good. Soften your knees and stand back up, breathing. And we'll come down onto our mats. Move the chair aside or keep it handy when you want to put your legs up on it in chair in Shavasana. And then come down. Now I'm going to have a few specific things to do in this practice on our backs. If you can follow along. I know, Pete, you have a hard time hearing me when you're on your back. But we didn't do any hip stretches. We didn't do the thread the needle pose on our chairs. So we're going to do it on our backs today. And you can do it in your chair if you like. So Lilia, you're totally welcome to stay seated if coming onto your back isn't suitable for you today. That's fine. If you are on your back, you can start just by drawing your knees to your chest and circling them around, away from each other and back together. You can have your hands on your knees, guiding them in circles away from each other and back together. Good, Pete. Then put your hands on the backs of your legs and extend your legs towards the sky. Point and flex your feet, heading towards the sky. Then bend your knees so your shin bones are parallel to the floor. Your thigh bones are perpendicular to the floor. So you've got right angle in your knees and hips. Take your arms up so they're straight to the sky over the shoulders. We're going to do this dead bug pose real quick here before we do the hip opener. You can have your eyes closed. Can you take your right arm alongside your right ear, straight overhead on the floor? Extend your left leg away from you any amount, or drop your left foot towards the floor. Maybe your left foot just touches down with your knee bent. That's fine. Then draw your left knee back up in line with the right knee, and your right arm comes back in line with your left arm. Then do the same thing on the other side. Your left arm reaches long alongside your ear as your right foot drops to the floor and your knee stays bent. That's fine. And then bring your right knee back in line with your left knee, and your left arm next to the right, or in line with the right. All we're doing is moving one arm and one leg at any given time. They move away from the center and back to center before the other 2 limbs start doing their movements. Go away from the center with arm and leg, opposite arm and leg, and then back to center. And then go away from center with the opposite arm and leg, and back to center. Do this one more time on each side. If you do it super slow and patient, you might keep the pattern and you might have your brain work a little hard, and that's all good stuff. When you get back to your dead bug pose, hug your knees into your chest and circle them again, any amount. Maybe you have your knees together and you circle the together knees around in one big circle one way and then the other. Your hands on the knees, guiding the knees. All right, now the thread the needle pose. Drop your right foot to the floor with the knee bent. Cross your left ankle over your right knee and put your left knee open away from you. So you've got this triangle in your legs. Your left knee is bent and ankle on the right knee. Your right thigh bone is supporting that left ankle. This could be giving you a left hip stretch right here. If you want more, try drawing your right leg up and clasping your hands around the back of your right leg. Holding the back of the right leg so that your left knee is free to reach away from your left shoulder as you pull your right leg in towards your right shoulder. This hopefully will give your left hip the gluteal stretch we look for oftentimes in our seated version of this. Stay here a few more breaths. You might try to root your sacrum on the floor a little bit, your back, your low back, your pelvis. Good. Switch sides. Drop that down. Step your left foot to the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Encourage your right knee open. Pause there for a moment. Then you may draw your left leg in if you want to go for something deeper, clasping your hands behind your left thigh as you encourage your right knee away from your chest or shoulder. So you end up engaging by pulling your left leg towards you as you encourage your right knee away from you. Stay here a couple more breaths, trying to root your sacrum and low back on the floor. Go ahead and let go of that and release both legs to the floor. Extend them both long on the floor and reach your arms both long along your ears in a big, long line on the floor. Full extension. Arms reaching overhead, legs reaching away from pelvis on the floor. Step your feet up onto the floor again. Bring your arms now alongside your hips. Roll your shoulders open into the floor and rise your pelvis to bridge pose. So stay in bridge a couple more breaths. Trying to rise the pelvis. Push solidly into all four corners of each foot. Shrug those shoulders down into the floor, lifting your heart anymore. On your next exhale, roll your spine down to the floor as you exhale. Take your knees one more time into your chest. You might curl your nose up towards your knees, rounding out your whole back. Knees to chest, nose to knees, rounded spine, rocking left and right. Release your arms out wide in a capital T on the floor and let your knees fall swiveling off to the left. Supine twist, knees falling left now. And turn your eyes over to the right hand to complete the whole twist from hips to crown of head. Take some long breaths. Your next inhale, bring your right knee up to the center and then your left. And then drop your right leg off to the right, your left leg stacking onto it. So your supine twist on the second side now. Turning your eyes to the left as your knees are falling right. Couple more breaths, or several more breaths, we'll say. Come on back to center, lifting your left knee first and then your right. And you might widen both knees out for happy baby pose, grabbing the tops of the shins or the outer edges of your feet. Final release in your spine, low back and hips. Happy baby pose for a moment. And then release the soles of your feet together on the floor, your knees falling wide in a diamond shape, our final pose before Shavasana. Let your knees fall out to the sides and rest. Let your hip sockets relax as much as you can. You might put one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Fill your belly up when you inhale. Collapse your belly when you exhale. One more full round of exhaling here, full relaxation of the body before you find your way to Shavasana after that. Once you're ready, extend your legs on the floor or up on a chair or over a pillow or whatever, and rest in Shavasana. Your arms can go out to the sides. Give in completely to gravity here. Imagine every cell giving into gravity. Every cell in your body knows it can relax a little more. Give it that permission to fully give in. Maybe your exhales are heavy. Try relaxing every part of your head, your jaw, your teeth, your sinuses, your brain, your scalp, your eyelids, your eye sockets, your ear canals, all the muscles that feed into your skull from your shoulders. Relax, relax, relax. Let that relaxation feed out through the rest of your body to the collarbones, shoulders, and hands, the belly and the pelvic floor and the hip sockets and the knees and the toes. Soften and relax and let go until you hear the bell. Take your time to breathe a little deeper. Wiggle fingers and toes, roll wrists and ankles. See if you can activate without losing some of that soft, restful demeanor. You're welcome to stay lying down, resting if you like, or make your way up to a seat. If you want to close class with us here, set your hands together to your heart. Bow to your heart. Find gratitude for all the things that your heart has connected to in your life and that have all the things that have reached out to your heart, including what you dedicated your practice to. Whatever inspires us, gratitude for those things and for the communities we build. We'll chant final Om in honor of all that. Inhale. I bow to the light in your heart. It's the same light in my heart. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Pete, Lilia, Vicky. Good to see you all.